Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the call-in show on BNR. Now, you guys might be thinking, why are these guys always late? Why do they do spontaneous call-in shows? Why is there no structure? We don't know. We fling it just how Liverpool have been flinging it in Europe. What better way to talk about what's been going on in the season in a midweek where Liverpool are not really playing the game? What kind of echo is that? If I wanted a parrot, Asim, I would have bought one.
It wasn't. I was just about to retweet the show. That's why.
No problem. But guys, look, it's a call-in show. This is not me and this is not my show. It's not Asim's show. It's not Gene's show. They can't even show up. Forget show. They can't even show themselves. Avi's obviously not here, but to talk all ball with you guys, it will be me and Asim, and we're just gonna sit back, listen. You chat your shit. We're gonna challenge you. If we think it's good, we'll say yes. If we think it's not good, we'll say no. But guys, it's your show, your opinions, your facts, everything. You talk, we listen. So let's get into it. Asim, do you want to add anything?
Just before I had, we got an Eze. We got an Eze. I don't know if it's the Eze from Palace, but just before we continue with the calling show, I just want to, say it was an emotional day, very important day in Liverpool fans and in football as well, with the Hillsborough anniversary, the 36th anniversary today, and so a lot of fair play to a lot of Premier League clubs, including Man United, who, to be fair to them, do it every year, and especially for those guys who were directly involved on that day and their families and friends. So our prayers go out to them people. And yeah, it was an emotional day for Liverpool fans and Liverpool as a football club. But yeah, let's carry on with the show. Let's get Eze in. You never know; it might be number 10. Haven't you got rights?
Right?
No,
I can't.
you can't add him. Okay, let's add in Eze.
I can't.
Eze, how we doing, my brother? You okay? He doesn't want to talk to us.
Eze, you there, mate?
People are saying we should be signing Eze, and we can't even get him to talk to us. Never
Guys,
mind.
he told us give us a few minutes. So while he decides to do that, we're gonna add you after Eze. We're gonna throw in Ethan. Can you throw in Ethan Asim for us? Because I think
Yeah, of course. I think it's
Ethan.
Ethan's.
Disappeared.
Nobody wants to talk to us.
Look.
Is the Oh yeah, there it is. There's a link pinned in the chat. Give us a call. Did you watch tonight's game at Sarib?
Yeah, I did watch the game. Obviously, like I was gonna ask you myself, like, how did you obviously find it? Obviously, we did play PSG in the last round. There was a potential for us to be playing Aston Villa tonight. Unfortunately, that's not the case. And this would have been probably a more relaxed show if we had gone through. But look, what I want to know, Asim, right? What is wrong with Liverpool in Europe under Arne Slot? Now, I think the word wrong is the wrong word. Wrong is the wrong word. But look, I think it's not as blockbuster as it was under Jurgen Klopp. But look, Villa up the tempo for 10 minutes and scored those goals very, very quickly and they won the game 3-2. Why did we struggle to score against Paris Saint-Germain at Anfield, where the famous Liverpool, the atmosphere is so great? Do you think it's a stylistic problem? Do you think it's an atmosphere problem? Do you think it's a manager problem? What is it for you? Because if Villa can do it, why couldn't Liverpool? And we are a better team than Villa. It's not a lie, is it? League table doesn't lie, does it?
It's easy. I think that's a bit simplistic way of looking at things. You just said why can't Liverpool score, but Villa conceded 3 goals at their stadium as well. Liverpool kept a clean sheet, and I know you're going to say Liverpool were backs against the wall, especially the first half. But second half, I thought Liverpool controlled them fairly well. Got the goal on the break as well. Even in the first half, and especially second half, I thought Liverpool had their moments. I know the goal came late on, but if it wasn't for like a bad placed pass, a last pass in the last third, I thought we could have got in a few more times. And I thought it was a slightly different type of plan from Arne Slot. But you could say Aston Villa a bit vulnerable or lacked a bit of experience. They came out, they thought, okay, and I think Wayne Rooney was chatting about it at the end of the game, where they tried to go gung-ho and maybe didn't think or didn't have a plan where if you've got 30-40 minutes left and you still need to chase one goal or two, it can be done, especially when you get the crowd behind you. And you could say those 2 goals cost them in the end, because when they did show a bit more respect, a bit more sat off, and then hit them in the right areas, and then got the likes of Rodgers, and especially I thought Rashford had a good second half. So yeah, look, you can say Liverpool were not good enough, didn't deserve really a win, and didn't deserve to go through. But I think just like I saw your tweet, and I thought, you know what, we're doing a show, let's address it on the show. I thought
Yeah,
you're being slight. Look, PSG can do that to anybody. Villa, to be fair to him, and the first, I think, goal, they were out of the game. You know, it's 5-1, and they get a deflected goal, and the game changes in the second half with another deflected goal from what's his name, the
begin.
McGinn. Yeah, so two deflected goals, and the game has changed. But to be fair to Villa, they do deserve a lot of credit for that second half performance. But I thought they didn't go gung ho. And your tweet was saying, look, you know, Jurgen Klopp's high pressing, high octane football wins against PSG.
I think so.
With anything, if anything, you know, Villa was smarter in the second half, where they sat off and went to the right areas. And if they did try to go full throttle, just how they were started the game, they got picked off twice, and all of a sudden it was 2-0. So I think against teams, you do have to show them not a lot of respect, but you have to contain certain opposition, especially when you got the likes of PSG's, you know, midfield, and then the speed that they have up front. And I thought Liverpool did all right. And at Anfield, you know, I think he tried to go, you know, get the first goal, play on the front foot. And I think we won the toss on that night as well, Sarib. And we went cop end first. And, you know, so you can maybe give the credit manager that he wanted to really, you know, set his stall out. And again, we created the first 2-3 chances. But first break from PSG, and they get that goal, and the game's changed. So yeah, look, it's fine margins. I don't think Liverpool, you can say, look, you know, Slot got outclassed, outsmart, out coached and out managed by Luis Enrique. Yes, they were brilliant, but I thought it's fine margins. And I don't think the golfing class was where some fans are talking about. It was one goal. It could have gone either way. But after 90 minutes, I think we showed a lot of fatigue as well, because I think, you know, around that time we had a lot of games, physical games. Everton, the first leg obviously with PSG, Newcastle at home, even though we did play that game in second or third gear. There was another game as well around that time where it was physical, and you know, PSG have the luxury, sorry, where they can, you know, have 2-3 substitutions and go again in midweek. But it is what it is. It's his first season. He'll learn a lot, and I think once he dips into the market, he knows. Arne Slot has mentioned the word speed, Sarib, a lot of times in his press conferences this season. I think that's one trait he knows that this team needs, whether it's in the back line through the running power of Kirkes and the lack of it because of his age and how much intensity that he's had over the last 7-8 years in Robbo, in the lack of physicality in the midfield, and again, the lack of speed up top. And you could argue the lack of creativity, bar Salah. So I think these areas, I'm sure the call-in guys will address today, who they want to see in the red shirt this summer. So yeah, again, just to sum up, it was a great game. PSG probably deserved it over the 120 minutes, but I thought it could have been anyone's game over the 90. But it is what it is.
It is what it is indeed. And while Asim says it is what it is, we need to add a new caller because Asim does waffle on a bit, doesn't he?
It was a big monologue.
James, how you doing, mate? You there?
Hiya, mate. Can you hear me?
Yes, mate. I can hear you really well. Hamez, my friend. How are you doing?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad.
What do you want to chat about, lad?
Well, I was thought actually about the last show, and you talked a lot about Barcola. I just thought his decision making was quite poor. Obviously, he's raw, but I'm not sure he's the guy.
Then who is? Who is the guy? Diaz is not the guy. Some people think
that's the problem. There's not a guy. I don't really think Nico Williams is all that's expected of him either. Yes, they both have the pace we need, but I think Liao, to be honest, is the X factor. If we had to grab one, that's what I'd be after.
So what do you say? Barcola doesn't have the X factor.
So he has the pace, but I think he's too raw. He doesn't have the decision making. You saw it today. He got hooked off.
He's 22 though, James.
Yeah, I appreciate that as well. But in the next 2 years, we've got a Van Dijk and Salah. We need win now players.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a question for you then, James. If you think Bradley Barcola is not the guy, then who is? Or
Leao.
do you think Diaz and Gakpo are good enough for Liverpool next season?
I actually wouldn't mind keeping Diaz. Diaz is not
Okay.
the problem at all. It's the striker that's the problem.
Both of them or just one of them?
Both of them, but I don't think anybody comes in for Jota, so we're going to have to deal with him.
That's very, very interesting. So you have no problem going to next season with Diaz and I assume Cody Gakpo as your left wingers?
Yeah, they're fine. Listen, obviously they're not the best left wingers in the world, but you can make do with that.
But is it good enough to make do? We've won a league title. Arsenal are not at the level. Man City are not at the level. It's a kind of a poor Premier League in terms of
Listen, if you look at
title.
the left wingers in the Premier League, the only ones you can definitively say are around Diaz and Gakpo's level is probably Marmoush if you class him as a left wing. Gordon. Who else is there?
I mean, Semenyo, there's not many. There's not many.
Semenyo isn't good, man. I've had enough of this Semenyo hype, man.
Semenyo's not the guy.
Not at all. I've watched him many times. He's got the pace. Yeah, he's got the pace. But his shot selection is atrocious at times, man.
Well, James, here's a good comment from Saf. If pace is our problem and we stick with the same wingers...
This is why you got to get a fast striker. We need Nunes as a threat, but with a player that has a brain.
Yeah, but you can have a fast striker, James, but don't you think you need the fast supply as well?
Kirkes helps as well on the overlap.
Yeah, I give you that. I can understand what you're saying, but especially in transition, the striker, if he's the guy who first pops it off to, let's say, the ball breaks loose and the striker pops it off to, I was gonna say someone like Trent. let's just work on worst case scenario and say Bradley, and then Bradley goes to the wingers. The striker is supposed to start the attack and then finish off the attack.
Yeah, but true. It's not ideal.
On the sides, don't you? So where are you going to get your speed from? And look, Diaz is not the slowest, but he's definitely not the quickest as well.
Yeah.
And then who else is there? Gakpo, again, once he gets going, he's hard to stop. But it's just that gets going. It takes a while at times, especially if he's recovering from a knock. But what do you think of this Ekitike? Have you seen much of him? There's some reports about Liverpool may have to pay around 70, 80 million pounds. I can't see Liverpool paying that. Can you, James?
Yeah, I wouldn't be going above 65 million. I think he's to me, he looks like Isaac Light. He's like, we envision him to be Isaac in 3 years.
Okay.
But I mean, who else? I do like the Delap, actually. I do think he is an interesting profile. And I think if we got both of them, that would help us a lot.
Isaac.
What about Isaac?
Do you think we can go for him? Do you think...
Sorry, am I cutting out?
Yeah, I didn't hear a word you said.
Yeah.
In the last 10 seconds, I didn't hear anything.
Well, I think Ekitike is basically a raw version of Isaac. I think
do we need a raw version, though? We've got
exactly
players. We've got Diaz. You could argue, say he's quite raw, even though he's at his latter stage of his career. Darwin Núñez, it's been 3 years, and I don't even think you can call him raw yet. Jota is injury prone, but when he gets going, he is probably one of the best finishers in the Premier League, if not the. Ekitike is an interesting profile, but Liverpool have just won the Premier League title. Surely we need to go out there and get the X factor. And I look at the market now, not even just in the striker area. I look around even in the midfield area, the attacking midfield. The market as a whole is probably at its weakest in about 10, 15 years.
Yeah, agreed.
What can you really do? Are Liverpool going to dish out 80 million for another kind of project signing, especially after Darwin Núñez didn't work out? I'm not too sure, but I'm not against it because I think the profile Ekitike has is very, 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 very good. But we need to win. And does Ekitike come in and make us winners? It's still up in the air. Whereas Isak, you got no question marks about that, do you? So
Avi keeps thinking or keeps saying that Jota is done. He will be gone. I think we first part of that comment, everyone I think agrees with it. Jota is done, but whether
No.
he will be gone, I'm not so sure.
I think maybe Wolves might come in for him when they lose Cunha. We can pray for that, maybe.
I will do that deal. I will do Jota. I will do Cunha. Jota plus money for Cunha. I will do. I will do 40 million plus. Nah. 30 million plus Jota for Cunha. I will do that deal.
I would take literally 20 million just to get Jota off the books. Honestly,
It's not that bad, man. I think people forget Jota's not that bad. His problem is injury.
he's not that bad, but he's never playing.
Just it's midweek today. This, as you know, James, we normally go on Saturday night, so we'll let the call-in guys spend a bit more time. So we just have to keep the conversation moving. Just before you, we let you go, mate. The title is "Will Ibu Konate stay?" There's some reports keep on lingering around, whether you think they're reliable reports or not, but there are reports out there. Do you think he stays? Do you think Liverpool will call an ultimatum with him and say, or ask him, do you sign on this deal, or we let you go for some money, or do you let run his contract down? What would you do, and what do you think Liverpool will do?
Well, I think you've got to get him signed up, obviously. So I think that in the next month will be very telling. Obviously, he's had the cover of Van Dijk and Salah not signing. Now he's not going to have that anymore. So I think if he doesn't reach terms in the next couple of months, I would sell him, even though I think he is a class player.
And what do you think Liverpool will do?
Well, I think we'd let him run down.
Okay, interesting thoughts. I think this will split the chat tonight, Sarib. Ibu's such a popular member of the squad as well, popular member amongst the fan base. I think this is going to split the chat today. But let's see. James, thank you very much for joining in. Was it your first time, mate? Is this James Barber by any chance?
Yeah.
Oh, big up, man.
Big up, James.
Big up. We see you, man. We see you. Thank you very much for coming on tonight, mate.
Cheers, lads. Appreciate the content.
Take care. Let's see if we can get this number 10 in. Eze, how are we doing? Can you hear us?
Well, yeah, sure. It depends if you can hear me from your end.
Yes, we can hear you, man. We can hear you. Where are you calling from, bro?
Yeah, I'm from Africa, Nigeria precisely.
Nice.
This is my first time of joining the show.
Big up, big welcome. What do you want to talk about? Are you a Liverpool fan?
Yeah, of course. For long. I've been a Liverpool fan for long.
Good stuff. What do you want to talk about, Eze?
All right, cool. So, first of all, I want to commend you for what you do. I followed you on Twitter, I think, sometime last year, and ever since you literally parked my heart before I say it. I turned on post notifications. I think my Twitter account is at the Stanley Eze. You'd see I like your posts very, very quick as soon as you post. This is because you see my mind literally all the time. So big ups to you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks for this show. I think I'll be a regular as well. I just
Of
found
course,
out about
anytime.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Cool. So starting with Ibu, I think I should start with FSG.
Okay.
Personally, the club, the owners of Liverpool are not living up to expectations. There are a lot of things that should be done. I think the contract situation of these other guys, Van Dijk, Salah, and Trent, should have been sorted long ago. They are very, very important. These are world-class players that I think are the best. It's not even a personal thought. It is what it is. They are the best in their position in the world. So why do you think Man United will do the same? Do you think Chelsea will do the same? Chelsea signed Enzo Fernandez, Mikalu Mudryk, and the likes, Lavia, and all of them, and give them 8 years, 7 years contract. This is ambition. They're showing ambition. They want to compete for long, but our owners aren't doing that. This is why I think Ibu's case is it's tricky. He might leave, even though that I wouldn't want to see him leave. But that's the reality. You just have to face that.
So just to stop you there, you speak about the Chelsea ownership, but the Chelsea model is not to go and win trophies. Their model is to make as much money as possible. Blueco, their model is to sign every top youngster that they can possibly find and bank on one of them, but sign them on very, very, low transfer fees, and letting them bank, and hopefully one of them brings them 100 million transfer that pays off all the players they signed. That's all they're trying to do. Now I understand they signed Mudryk, they signed Lavia, they signed Caicedo, etc., etc. I get that you have to as the Chelsea Football Club, but the reason why they are signing all these young players on large contracts is because they don't want a situation where they're on a 3-4 year contract, they go out on loan somewhere, they run their contract down and become superstars elsewhere. So now Chelsea will sell Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer, they got very, very lucky at. If you look at the type of players Chelsea are signing, Cole Palmer, they signed about 3 goalkeepers, Jorgensen, all of these young players they're signing, that guy Esteval, they're signing so many young Kennedy Pyers, they're signing so many, young players, banking on one of them to hit 150 million transfer fee that pays off all the players they sign. That's why they're putting all these kind of players down to large contracts, so they don't basically lose out on money. And I think it's a very, very risky way of doing things, but it covers their back. They're great businessmen, but to run a football club, they are not very, very good. That's why Pochettino walked last summer, because he said to Chelsea, the reason why he walked is because he didn't want Conor Gallagher to be sold. Conor Gallagher was pivotal to where Chelsea finished last season. They had a good run at the end of last season, and it was pure profit. They're going to do the same thing with Levi Colwill. They tried to do the same thing with Chalobah. They had no centre backs, so they brought Chalobah back. It's their money making scheme, Blueco and Clear Lake, whatever you want to call them. So I think comparing them to FSG is a bit. I think it's not right personally, but sorry, I just wanted to get that in there. I don't want an ownership like Chelsea. It's too. They're too stop and start. Thomas Tuchel said they had the ownership coming into the dressing room telling them how to play football, when you should just leave that for the manager. Just let them do what they're doing. And I think you can have your question marks about FSG, but you also have to commend them that they brought Arne Slot to this football club. They brought Michael Edwards back to this football club. I get that they've not given us the funditure, but they've set a good structure in place, which we can see the benefits of it now. That's why people were criticizing FSG in the summer. I was not doing it, because they brought Michael Edwards back. They brought Richard Hughes to this football club. They brought Arne Slot to this football club, and they put the correct people in charge. So then you got to point the finger at the people they put in charge, not them specifically. Because when I still remember when Edwards and Hughes and all this nonsense about them coming to Liverpool, everybody was cheering up and down. Why were they cheering? Now all of a sudden they're not doing their job right. We point the fingers at the ownerships. I think that's wrong. Them being bad employees is not down to the people upstairs, because they've proven in the past they can be good employees, and that's why I did not have a go at the ownership in the summer.
All right, cool. So I want to ask you a question. Do you think it's the fault of the sporting directors that we signed only Chiesa last summer?
Yeah.
Or last 2 summers, I think we signed just one player, or I cannot remember. It has always been this way since I started supporting Liverpool. I became an active fan towards 2011, thereabout, and ever since. I remember when we won the Champions League, we only signed, I think it was Harvey Elliott. Was it Harvey Elliott? And then the following summer, we signed, I think it was that same summer, we signed Calvin Ramsey. I don't know if you can still remember him. So it's, I didn't understand the Chelsea model, and thanks for explaining. But we should rather compare ourselves with Man United. We are way bigger than Chelsea. Do you think Man United will do the same? Man United are pretty bad, very, very horrible. I watch them and throw them a lot, but they try to spend. They try to get in the right players. Do you understand? They try to get in the right players, and we don't do this. The reason why, let's talk about our recent performance this time. The reason why, personally, the reason why our performance level is dropping, I think, is because there's no player to rotate. I think Gravier is not in the same level he was towards around um, August, September, and October, or thereabout. This is because he plays literally every game. Gravier is not even strong. He's not strong. He's not strongly built. So it's not like Caicedo that if you look at them, or the likes of Declan Rice, they are strongly built. Gravier Grave is kind of soft, and then he plays almost every minute up until I think towards January, where they started bringing in Endo. Towards December or November, Endo wasn't getting any minutes. That was a wrong call from Slot, and then the whole signing issue. Slot has the fair share of the blames to take as well because I see no reason why Chiesa ain't getting any minutes. It's really bad. Chiesa is one of our most clinical wingers. I've never liked him, but the few minutes I've seen, sometimes he I think towards in the Plymouth game, he hit the crossbar once or twice or thereabout. Then the goal in the final and all of that, you know that this is a player, a winger you can rely on when Musala is not delivering. I don't know if it's fitness issues, but he has to play a lot more. And then it's so unfair that Have Elliott is not getting any minutes. It's very, very unfair.
But I have a question.
Personally,
Lee.
okay,
Why
cool.
why would you change a winning formula? Now, I'm not saying that changes shouldn't be made, but I'm saying Arnestad's looking at this team. We're winning game after game after game. We're on a very, very good run of winning games. Why do I need to rotate? And when he's needed to rotate, he has rotated. Look at the Southampton in the cup. You look at Plymouth, he did rotate in Accrington Stanley. He's given players minutes, and now you're going to say Federico Chiesa deserves minutes, and I'm not disputing that. But why would you change a formula that's given Liverpool 20 odd wins out of whatever games has been played, 30 odd games?
Okay, it goes down back to what I initially said. I said these guys need to play a little less often so they don't get burnout. If you check Man City in the last 2 years, they always it's very difficult to predict Pep Guardiola's starting 11. He can start for Foden as a left winger or right winger or AMF attacking midfielder, or even as a false nine when they had issues with getting striker before the arrival of Erling Haaland. So a lot of things are there are a lot of things to consider when playing players very often. Also, I think that's what caused the decline of a sharp decline actually of Fabinho. He played too often, and that was a mistake by Klopp. You might want to ask why Salah didn't decline. Salah is special. Mohamed Salah is a gift from God. It's not something you see. It's not somebody you see very often. I can tell you that Mohamed Salah is the best left-footed player I've seen ever after Lionel Messi, and that is it. Rival fans might not want to agree, but it is what it is. So, but then check every other players. Allison, who is a goalkeeper, he gets injured from time to time. Sometimes he would go 1 month without playing. He's out injured and all. So playing any footballer regularly, I think it happened to Robertson. Maybe age caught up with him, and during his prime, he was the best thing ever. I still remember how horrible Alberto Moreno and James Miller was not horrible, but then it was just not his position. He gave his all. But then there came a certain Andy Robertson, and then he changed everything for us. So I'm grateful he did, but I think he has declined a lot. This is because he has played very often, and then he has played his part completely. So it's time to get another player and then rotate as well. It's not like you change it every game. Maybe towards the 70 minutes mark or thereabouts, you sub out one or two players and then bring a replacement.
As it,
Gravenberch,
let's move it on to this summer then, because there's a few questions for you, in particular from Dean. He wants your thoughts on Osimhen being Nigerian. Do you rate him? Could
well,
he be the right striker for Liverpool?
well, it's kind of tricky because I think Arne Slot likes a ball playing striker, and honestly, Osimhen is not a ball playing striker. He just wants to score goals. That's very similar to the likes of Gyökeres, likes of Ellen Haaland, and all of these guys, Solot, Gurasi, and all of these guys. So it will be better to get the guy from Frankfurt, Eketike, or I don't know if I got pronunciation correct.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, good. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So that's the kind of there are coaches who prefer different profiles. I remember trying to get. I think fans were suggesting Ugarte last summer or 2 years ago, and then the report came that they wanted a ball playing um, defensive midfielder. Then that stopped everything, and then the rumors stopped coming and all of that. So Slot is a coach that prefers a ball playing strike, and most likely Osimhen will be coming. But if he's going to change his mind, though, yeah, somebody pointed at AFCON. Yeah, it's going to be rough. Affected us in the past. But Osimhen naturally is a very good player, goal scorer. He has passion, he has energy, he can run. And I think he has a few injury issues, but aside that, he's a very good player.
And
But
as
yeah,
before we let you go, because we have to keep it moving, the title, does Ibu stay for you this summer? And again, what would you do with him? And what do you think Liverpool does with him?
well, I love Ibrahima Konate, and he's a fantastic player. And but then, if he's a professional, he's playing. This is his career. Any wrong move will haunt him for years, if not the rest of his career. So it's really, really tricky, if you ask me. If it was down to me, of course, I heard it has to do with money. He wants 200K or 250K weekly, which I think is a lot of money considering Liverpool structure. We are not Chelsea. Cool. So it's really, really tricky. I would want him to stay at all means. And replacing him, of course, won't be easy either. But it's really, really tricky. I cannot tell for seeing Trent leave. I think it's almost done. So seeing Trent leave has made me like an open-minded person. I'm not ruling anything out now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Eze, thank you very much for calling in. Did you say it was your first time?
Yeah, this is my first
Good
time.
stuff, man. Good
I'll
stuff. What
call him
time?
more often.
Of course, anytime. Welcome back anytime. What time is it in Nigeria, by the way?
Same time, no?
Really?
11:27 p.m.
Yeah, same time. Yeah.
Yes, it's same time. Yeah, same time.
You learn something every day. Brilliant. Eze, thank you very much. Any relation to the Crystal Palace, Eze, by the way?
Well, he's my favorite player. I've been following him. I think it was at Millwall.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he was.
QPR.
Reading, no?
Queen's Park.
He's not Reading, has he?
Queen's Park Rangers. Yeah, I followed him from then up until when he was at Crystal Palace. Well, he's actually from my hometown, but then he was born and raised in the UK. That's his parents are from my hometown, and then born. That's why we have seen.
Yeah, you know, just before you go, the player that I really wanted Liverpool to sign, and he went to Bayern Munich, was Olise. I think he's absolutely brilliant, honestly. And there's a player who can play on the outside and on the inside, comfortable at either. But 60 million, we didn't want to pay for him. But now we're looking for the Salah replacement. And where is he? Where is he?
Well, I think 60 million for Olise is a bargain, if you ask me, in a highly inflated market like it is now. So alternatives, I've not seen you talk much about him, but Ryan Cherki from Leon is a player I really like. He can play as number 10 and then right wing. He uses both feet, as I watched from the Man United game, and then he has eye for goal. He's not going to cost a lot. Should be less than 40 million, considering the situation with Lyon currently. And I'd really be glad if we can do something about it. So
hope so.
Well, I'll just stop here and then let others continue.
Brilliant. Eze, thank you very much, man. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
We had a question. By the way, there's over 1,100 people here. There's nearly about over 950 people from Twitter watching in their beds. Now, I'm not telling you to get out of bed. What to do is just scroll up, press X on X, and come over to YouTube and smash a like and subscribe to the channel, because I can guarantee you those 983 people watching on Twitter are watching us, but they haven't subscribed. Come on, please Tell me how many likes we've got, Sarib. I can guarantee you we don't have more than 50.
What we have currently got, hold on a minute, let me have a little Scooby-Doo about what we're doing here. Hold on. We've got 50 likes, 51 now. I did myself.
There you go. Let's get that up to 100. Come on, people. Let's get that moving. Still,
You guys, well, if you guys get it to 100 likes by 23:32, I will shave my head bald.
Oh, shut up.
On camera, if it gets to 100 likes by 23:32, I will shave my head bald.
What, right now?
Not right now, but I will do it on camera. So you guys, if you want to see bald Sarib, then you better run up the likes.
They'll run up those likes within 5 minutes. You are not gonna go bald.
Now
I'm telling you now.
Come
Judging
on,
by
guys.
how many times you like play with your hair, that's not happening. That's not happening. There was a question from the Chip. By the way, there was a question about how we sacked Avi because he's not been on the show for. He's just been a bit busy. I promise you'll see the Chip back on our screens in the next day or so. Or maybe tomorrow.
The comment section, I hate you guys. I hate us, but they all saying like. Don't want to say that. You don't want to say like before. So you know, say Sarib's gonna go bold. Now you want to like.
Chris says we need a bomber, not a bold Sarib.
It's gonna happen eventually. Don't worry.
Here it is. Asim, do you think if Konate goes, Huijsen comes in, Heto comes in, and then we go into the season with Van Dijk, Huijsen, Heto, Kwanzaa, is that a possibility? I don't want Konate to leave, but it is possible. He doesn't mention Robbo. Let's say if Robbo, if I think Jake, I think he'll be coming on soon as well. He asked me the question once he got the link, and he goes, do you think, or would you sell Konate for 60 million, or would you let him go for free? I replied, I'd probably buy 2 centre-backs. Huijsen would be one, and Heto would probably be the other as well. Or do you probably buy a B-Tech version of Konate, if you see what I mean? Because to get a proper Konate who's comfortable in the centre areas and go out there and defend like practically a right back as well, even though we don't do it as much because Bradley's more conventional. I think we still need that profile, and Huijsen is a different profile. Now you might say, look, we went with Van Dijk and we went with Matip for years, but I think it just gives us that luxury when we're really chasing games for the right back to go act as the 5th and the 6th attacker. We need Huijsen to go and act as the right back. Now he's young, he's raw, and I've not seen him be involved in really low individual battles. Is he that player? Can he, really shift in those wide areas? I'm not so sure. I think he's a more of a ball-playing centre-back, whether that's on the right and that's on the left as well. But he might develop into that. We don't know because he's got so much talent, especially on the ball. But I would generally be happy with that because I think you've got Bradley there. You've got Kwanzaa. You've got, I think if Shimikas leaves, then so be it. But you've got Robertson and Heto to cover the left. You've got Kwanzaa to cover the middle centre-back, the Van Dijk role, or the right centre-back role. And then you've got Huijsen for the right centre-back role as well as covering Van Dijk. You've even got Heto covering a few shifts for Van Dijk as well, because I don't think Van Dijk should be playing every single game for next season as well. I think we should manage him a bit better, and we will, I think. And then you've got, did he say anything about Gomez? No. Bradley, right back. We've mentioned Bajcetic coming back to the club. And then maybe if Gomez sticks around, we've still got Gomez to do some shifts as well. That is if Konate leaves. But I think as a club, if you see, and what Jake messaged me back is, Sarib, he said, look, I'm not so sure. What I would want is, because I think Liverpool can get a second title. We've got Salah and Van Dijk for another 2 years. And after that, God knows what's going to happen. We're not going to be, really favourites for the title. He sees Liverpool favourites for the title next season if, as Van Dijk and Salah are staying. So he just wants to keep the best players in the short term, and we'll cross that bridge next year. I see where he's coming from, and I can understand it as well. But, for a club that doesn't go all out in the transfer market and needs 2-3 windows all the time to sort their, team out and squad out, to lose Trent and Konate for free within the space of 12 months, that would be really, really, decisive for me, honestly. Because I think
Asim, I would, if Konate doesn't want to sign a new contract, and I said it on the last show, by June, if we are made aware that Ibu is not signing a contract extension, I would sell him in the summer, because that way you keep Virgil van Dijk, you keep Salah, you keep 2 of the 3 that we wanted to keep. Konate is obviously one of those sales, like a spontaneous one, maybe like a Fabinho kind of sale. You get 60 million for Konate, you bring in Dean Huijsen and you bring in Mark Guehi. I think that improves Liverpool. You bring 2 centre backs in for the price of 1 Konate. I think that improves Liverpool as a team. You're telling me you wouldn't do Konate out, Huijsen, and Mark Guehi in? I would do that tomorrow. I would do that tomorrow. I would do that tomorrow.
I would want someone better, because if you sell Konate for 60 million, let's say,
I'm trying to be realistic as well. Sorry.
Yeah, of course.
That's what I said.
I think we can get a level above Guehi.
Who's that guy though?
Because we would have bought a centre back anyway, Sarib.
But maybe that Huijsen Konate thing there's something in there though. Maybe that's why we want a centre back, because Konate's on his way out and Huijsen's coming in. Like, to me, too many things are adding up for it to. How can we go into this season with Kwanzaa, Gomez, Van Dijk, and Konate and be okay, and go into next season with those same 4 centre backs plus Huijsen? I don't see it. For me, it's somebody's leaving for somebody to come in rather than somebody's adding on to what we have. And if we're looking at starters, and like that report I go back to about Dean Huijsen, he's not going to come into Liverpool to be a bench player. Maybe there's something about Konate wanting out. I don't know. Romano said he's still confident, but I mean, we don't know.
I think Ibu signs.
I hope so. No, I do hope so. I do hope so. Alessandro's a good shot, by the way. This guy's really good. I think he's going to get a move in a couple of days. He plays for Lille, centre back. He's right-footed. He's quite tall. He's a good player. Very
what about this lad? Can we be a bit smart? Can we be a bit cheeky? Save a bit of money? He's got 1 year left, hasn't he?
I don't know, if anyone can pull out his contract.
I'm quite sure he's got 1 year left.
But he is a ball-playing centre-back. Aerially very, very dominant. Is he left-footed as well?
No, he's right-footed.
Right-footed.
Yeah.
But is he that, I don't know, you said Konate is a channel defender. Is he really that channel defender that we really, really need? You keep saying Omar Saleh. I don't know too much about Omar Saleh. I will do my research. But Branthwaite, Premier League proven. I'm always skeptical of signing players from rivals, but it'd be so funny. I just don't think Everton would sell to Liverpool personally.
Dean says 2027.
2 years left on his
2 years
contract.
in.
Yeah, Branthwaite is left-footed. I'm sure he is. Yeah, that's why I asked. I'm sure he is. Is he not? I'm sure he is.
I think he's comfortable on both.
Let me actually find out. I'm sure he's left-footed. Yeah, he is. He knew it. Yeah. See, Sarib knows what he's talking about. Yeah, see? Yeah.
Gene's in the chat. Gene, come on if you like.
I knew I wasn't bugging out.
Brathwaite is a Van Dijk replacement then.
You don't see it. You don't see a scenario where Virgil moves to the right centre back.
No.
You don't see it.
No. Why would you change so much? Everything that's good about your build-up, or that Van Dijk to Salah switch. Why would you change it?
That's true. That's very, very true. But I guess if you have somebody like Branthwaite who's very, very comfortable on the ball and probably one of the best ball-playing centre-backs in the Premier League, does it really make much of a difference? And that's not a knock to Virgil van Dijk. I'm saying it's a left foot at left and right foot at right. Doesn't it give you more balance?
Brathwaite and
Van Dijk.
Huijsen is a good partnership.
I'm talking about moving Van Dijk. He wants Van Dijk out of the team.
No, long term.
Yeah, I can see that. But I think they're both of them are comfortable from the left-hand side. So somebody's got to do a support act. And I don't want that. I want balance in my back four. Konate gives us balance with Van Dijk, but I'm more worried about the fullbacks. And I don't think now, Asim, we play as a team where we're going to be so heavily reliant on Konate's touchline channel defending ability because, Trent, we might do next season if Frimpong's at right back. But I think with Bradley in there, he's not going to be fully up the field all the time. We're going to be inverting into midfield, whereas Konate has to cover the whole space. I think we're going to have a much more conventional kind of right back. And I think that's why Ibu Konate's injuries this season, Asim, have not been muscle injuries. He was absolutely cluttered by injury. Otherwise, he's been fit. Other than that,
I tend to disagree, Sarib. I tend to disagree. I see why people are saying, Bradley is more conventional fullback. But if you really look at it, the only difference between that conventional fullback and the Trent fullback is when we started playing Trent for the most part of last year, when we put him into midfield, that is the only difference where Slot and Klopp are doing at the moment.
It's a big difference.
So it's just no, it's not. It's not really, because it's just the first phase of build-up. After that, where that right back is doing the exactly same thing. So if you, generally speaking, if Robertson was slightly deeper, and what's his name, Trent was in midfield, we'd build up like that. Now, generally speaking, we've got both our fullbacks slightly in more of a conventional. But the thing is, we have so much of the ball, Sarib, is once that first phase is developed into the second phase, it's the same thing, because that right back is in the right-sided midfield role. And from there, you either play in the right half space as the attack develops, or you can go on the underlap, you go on the overlap. If Salah's deep, he goes on the outside and put a cross in. So after the first phase, the right back is the same thing. So I would, disagree to an extent, saying we don't need a player to cover. And I can remember Everton, and because we keep so much of the ball, Sarib, you watch that Everton game, the first minute after kickoff, you just go and check Bradley's positioning. It was top of the box. It was the right half space, number 10 role.
Yeah, but that's when we're piling on the pressure.
No, because especially at Anfield, Sarib, 9 out of 10 times we're going to come up against a low block. That's what I mean. So this thing about Bradley's a proper right back and Trent's not a proper conventional right back. No, it's just the first phase. After that, everything's the same.
Okay, you tell me in the last 18 months how many times you've seen Trent Alexander-Arnold on the right wing, Klopp and Slot. You maybe seen it a bit more this season, but I can't remember 60% of games where Trent's on the right wing. It's either Szoboszlai or it's Conor Bradley on the right hand side putting crosses in the box. Trent has always been in that midfield position, and the first time I actually Arsenal at home 2 years ago.
Look, I'll take it back a bit. When I say it's exactly the same, but in that first phase, Trent does have more of the ball.
Of course.
Yeah, so he comes and collects it from the centre backs and stuff like that. But because he's such a quarterback type of player, he likes to ping it from those central positions. But when he comes into the second phase of play in a Slot team or a Klopp team, and he doesn't stay in that centre position, he roams around, goes onto those right space. So I think Slot's right back requires more legs. So you could argue, Bradley suits that, but I think Trent probably doesn't want to do that. Where in the same, his attitude is towards defending as well. When he really wants to defend, he can. When he really wants to be dynamic, how many times have you seen, Gerrard? Dare I say it? It's like Gerrard-esque, driving into midfield, because he's got that. He's got that drive. He's got that drive. And I question that drive when he put a bit of muscle on, and he came back leaner last summer, and he got that drive back. So maybe Slot is one of the reasons why he wants him into that, because his best quality is pinging a pass from those right-sided channels. But I think generally people do get mistaken. That's the only difference when it's the first phase of play. When you come into those center areas, he's gonna start acting like a bit more of a PLO and stuff like that. But once you come up again, especially at Anfield, Sarib, I don't think you can just let Trent just stay there and dictate games, especially when you got the likes of McAllister, who likes doing that, Gravenberch coming deep and turning on the halfway line. I prefer this, to be honest with you. But I think what the other big difference is Klopp gave Trent a bit more of a license. I don't think Slot gives Trent more of a license, because he thinks McAllister and Gravenberch are press resistant and we can pick a pass. We'd rather have you on that right space, whether it's inside or on the right hand side, to give us your main weapon. So
he's right. I personally believe he's right. Otherwise, it would be a very, very simple situation if you wanted somebody to control the tempo of the game. And I know it's very easy to say to put Trent in midfield, but how many players do you know in world football that can control a game from central positions than Trent Alexander-Arnold. And why did he go for a profile like Zubimendi? And you're going to talk about off the ball. I understand that. I think Trent off the ball is better than Zubimendi. I think his range of passing, I think, is better. And you're telling me that Slot didn't look at Trent and think this guy can control the tempo, and he could have done it. It's a very easy situation to fix. But I don't think Trent's a midfielder. I don't think he can play midfield. People say he can. I saw enough at the Euros to suggest that he can. I know it's a small sample size, but I think you can tell from 1 or 2 games whether somebody can do the job or not. I saw James Milner play left back, and he did fabulously fine in 1 or 2 games, and he played it the whole season. We will never see a situation where Trent's going to play midfield in his career. It's not going to happen. He's too useful as a fullback, and when he roams into those positions and he has the extra body in midfield, I think it helps him.
Would you say Conor Bradley's the right-sided Robertson?
No, because I think he has more technical quality. But I can see what you'd say. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, he's got legs.
He's a better footballer, though.
Yeah, of course. I think it's technical. Robertson is not a technically gifted footballer. Even if you go back to when they're talking about Robertson, Oxlade-Chamberlain said, "You put Robbo in a rondo, he doesn't know what he's doing. Robbo can't do a rondo properly. Like, he always uses his left foot, etc., etc., etc." Like Oxlade-Chamberlain said, Robbo is not good at rondos, but when he's on a match day, he turns into the best left back in the world. I can't remember Asim many times. Okay, how many assists do you know Andy Robertson got with his right foot? I can't tell you one. Whereas with Tsimikas, I could tell you he puts balls into the right foot. But with Conor Bradley, I can expect him to put balls in with his left foot. But with Robertson, no. Robertson is an up and down fullback, tenacious, works hard, tries his best for the team, and unfortunately, Mother Nature's caught up with him. 8 years of playing that sustained system does have a toll on the body. Asim, you're asking somebody to run that much every single game, two games a week. It's going to have a toll on you, especially when Liverpool are going for 4 trophies in a season. But look, Kirkes will hopefully come in and put that Robertson not curse, but Robertson age to bed. I think.
Shall we spice it up a little, Sarib?
I can see him at the bottom. He's smiling at me right now. I can see him. I can see him smiling at me right now.
Let's put him in together, man. Let's put him in together. But
before that, he said spice it up. He knew he was talking about Albert. He knew he was talking about Uncle.
I just text him. Over 1,400 people watching, man. Come on. Smash a like and subscribe to the channel. There's so much more coming your way, but I won't let you know what I'm on about. Maybe in a couple of days or a couple of weeks, we'll give you some more information. But exciting things are happening. Smash a like and be part of the journey. Let's spice it up. Bilal first and the one and only Unks. But before I come to Unks, Bilal, what's going on, man? Waiting patiently in the back. Thanks for calling in. What's going on? You probably thought, you know what, Asim brought me on that day. And he's never invited me back. But big up for you. Big up, man, coming in. You probably got my message as well. But what's going on, man? How are we?
Assalamu alaikum, guys. Evening, everyone.
Salam.
Yes, Unks. What's the chat saying? Hope everyone's well. Yeah, alhamdulillah,
Yeah,
I'm good.
all is good. All is good, man.
No, Asim, no hard feelings whatsoever, man. I'm always grateful whenever given the opportunity. So it's nothing but love. You don't have to even say that.
Oh, yeah, you're saying that in front of the camera. I know you. Bilal, what you want to talk about? Do you want to talk about the title? Do you want to talk about transfers? We've got all of them on that thumbnail. We've got Hoyson, Semenyo, Ekitike, Isaac, Kirkes, Simmons.
That would not be a bad transfer.
Take your pick.
If Liverpool gave me that transfer window, I would never complain about a transfer window.
That's 6 signings, man.
I mean, you said we're getting 5. You said we're getting 5.
Did I say 5? I said 4, I think.
I'll touch on 2 things. Thing is, I don't want to be too harsh on a title-winning team because they've engraved themselves as legends of the club. But if truth be told, if you want to build upon that success, which is after the league, is the Champions League. When I look at the Champions League and I look how Villa performed tonight, yes, we can argue that PSG were more offensive, but give Liverpool better offensive wingers and better striking options, and Mohamed Salah wouldn't have been on his own. Like, Villa had a forte of attack, and they took the game to them at home, whereas we couldn't even score just about 1 goal. Villa ended up scoring 4 goals against PSG, and it's really upsetting to think, you know what could have been. I really thought if we get past PSG, we'd have gone on to win it. So at the same time, I don't want to diss the forwards too much because they are the people that enabled us to win the league. But I really hope that we strengthen next season going into the summer. And
let me stop you. I think there's one thing that you said I want to touch on. Did you say in that PSG game there had to be forwards that helped Mohamed Salah a bit more?
Yeah.
What did Salah do over the 2 legs?
Nothing. But that's my point. If he doesn't, no one else does.
I'm just asking the question. Salah didn't do anything over the 2 legs, and when you need,
If you bothered to be in the BNR WhatsApp group, you would know my stance on this all season long. If Mohamed Salah, okay, let me ask you a question. How many games have Liverpool won where Mohamed Salah hasn't scored or assisted? Tell me.
That's 2 things can be true though. That's what I'm saying. One thing doesn't have to be true, and one thing.
But what's your point? You've just backed up my point. You've backed up my point. If we had better forwards and the ones I mentioned, Diaz, Jota, Chiesa, Gakpo, Nunes, we would have been through. I never mentioned Salah's name. I never once mentioned Mohamed Salah's name. Mohamed Salah doesn't have to carry this team every single game. He can have an off game. He can have an off period. And I asked you a question, and the question still stands. You haven't answered it. You've ducked it. How many games did Liverpool won when Mohamed Salah hasn't scored or assisted? Tell me. I'm waiting.
Don't know top of my head, mate, to be honest. But that's not the question I asked you. You're shifting off.
Yeah. No, I'm not shifting off. I'm not shifting off the topic. I said he had a poor game. I said he had a poor game, and he met his match. It's what happens when unstoppable force meets an immovable object.
It's a very simple question. You just answered my question. Salah was poor.
He did nothing. He did nothing. What did other forwards do? What did the rest of the forwards
do?
They
also did nothing. But the way you worded it was like, oh, Salah can't do no wrong. The rest are all.
No, I didn't say he can do no wrong. I said he needs help. I mean,
he didn't do anything. So what do you mean he needs help? Maybe he needs to do it himself sometimes, isn't it? That's not criticizing Mo Salah. That's the greatness of Mo Salah.
Do you know how idiotic that sounds? That he needs to do it himself. What's he been doing for the whole season? What's he been doing for the whole season in the Premier League?
Again, you're shifting off topic when
27. No, I'm not. No,
you're focusing on 2 games. No, listen. You specifically spoke about the PSG game. You didn't speak about the games after that or the games before that. You spoke about the PSG game. If you ask the question about what Salah's done across the season, this conversation will be different. You said the PSG game, and then I rebutted to you. What did Salah do in the home leg and the away leg? And you said nothing. So this conversation is done. Very, very simple. You said Salah needs help, but over the 100 and whatever minutes it was, 200 minutes, he didn't do anything. That's it.
You know, there's 10 other players. There's 10 other players, 9 other outfield players.
They also did nothing as well. They all didn't do anything.
And my point is, if we had better forwards, we would have gone through.
That's also true. That's why I said 2 things.
If we had better forwards, and thing is, who mentioned Salah's name first, me or you?
You did. You said Salah needs help. He needs help. Yeah. That's what you said.
He needs help. Exactly. He needs help. And what does help mean? When someone says someone needs help, what does that mean, Sarib? That means they can't do it by themselves.
Exactly. I'm not asking Mohamed Salah to do it.
You're asking me a question which you already answered in the question you're asking. I never said he did something. That's the whole point. The precedent you've set is I said Salah needs help. If you need help, you mean you can't do it on your own. You're asking me the very same thing which I already pointed out myself.
But you said Salah. My point.
You have no point. You have no point.
It was because I asked you about the PSG game.
Look at the presidents of the question. Look at the presidents of the question, Sarib. Salah needs help. If you need help, you can't do it on your own.
You think I'm criticizing Mo Salah? I'm not even criticizing.
No, Kazi. I don't think you're criticizing. I think you're waffling.
I'm not waffling. No. You said in the PSG game, Salah needed help. Then I asked you, what did Salah do over the 2 games? And then
nothing.
You said, Salah's done it for the whole season. Salah, if we had better forwards.
No. My first response was nothing. My absolute first response was nothing.
I criticize everybody. I don't care if you're Van Dijk, Salah, Messi, but I don't care.
You don't criticize Gakpo. You don't say he's average.
Of course I do.
No, you don't. No, you don't. You don't want to hear it. You don't want to hear it.
I think this is the longest I've seen Unks on screen, and he hasn't had a word.
Since he's come back from injury, since Gakpo's come back from injury, he has not been great. And I said that on the last stream.
Gakpo's not been great all season. Gakpo's had 2 purple patches. He's got 2 purple patches. He's not good enough.
You've shifted from Salah in the PSG game to all season to Cody Gakpo. Answer the question you've been asked. You said Salah needed help in the PSG game. I don't
think you've got a good concept of the English language. You asked me. You said to me, you made a statement, I criticize everyone. And I said to you, you don't criticize Gakpo. It's the flow of a conversation.
I do.
You know how a topic works. You know how a conversation works. You jump from topic to topic based on what you talk about.
When you try to not
what does help mean? Sorry, what does help mean? What does help mean? Define help to me. Define help to me. Define help.
You need people around you to also contribute.
Thank you very much.
Right.
I rest my case.
That's fine. What is this guy talking about? He said, you're not even listening to the conversation. Asim, go back, and whoever's in the chat, go back. Uncle, you can go back as well. He said Salah needed help, and he was speaking about the PSG game. I then
Yeah.
said to him, "What did Salah do over the 2 legs of the PSG game?" Then you said to me, "Salah can't do it on his own. Look what he's done for the whole season. How many games have Liverpool won that Mo Salahs can carry?"
Everyone's free to watch this
Two
back.
things.
Everyone's free to
can
watch
be
this
true.
back.
I said
Everyone's
two
free
can
to
be
watch
true.
this back.
All I
never.
said,
You're
two things can be
digressing.
true.
I never said Salah did something. I never made that point. I said he needs help. When you need help, it
What are you
means you
saying?
need other people to help you. I agreed with you at every point that Salah didn't contribute in either of those 2 legs. I said he needed help. That's what I
Okay,
said.
let's bring Unks
Fine,
in
whatever you
here.
say.
I was going to ask Unks what his thoughts are, whether he wants to talk about Ibu, he wants to talk about summer transfer signings, but it was a heated debate. Do you want to add anything else to that?
Well, I think that both of you are right, really. But
That's what I said.
most
That's what I said.
most importantly, I don't know why you are quarreling over an ownership that doesn't want to invest in a team and a coach that keeps making excuses for them. This coach told us that he didn't need any augmentation to the team. Was he right or was he wrong? I think he was profoundly wrong, given what has happened towards the end of the season. But let's be clear about something. We need to thank Man City that they are not hot on our heels,
Yeah.
right? We may want to discard it and ascribe reasons, but the pattern of Liverpool folding towards the end of the season has been consistent for God knows when. The only difference this year is that we don't have a Man City hot on our heels. So we are cantering on. It's like watching the Grand National and seeing the jockey that's too heavy on the back of freaking whatever his name is, Sergeant or whatever his name is, and then they are slowly cantering home. Everybody else is tired. Half of the horses fell down on the other jumping the hedges, and now we are the only ones limping home because we have a horse with one broken foot. Our coach is an appendage of the ownership that doesn't want to invest in our team, and the excuses keep flowing. I mean, can he tell us the reason why he keeps fielding Andy Robertson? And when you say somebody says, "Oh, you don't respect legends." Ian Rush is a legend. We need a striker. Why don't we go get him? Right? I grew up in an era where Ian Rush was the master of all he surveyed. He's a Liverpool legend. Right now, we need a striker that can play half like Ian Rush used to play. So why don't we just get Ian Rush? That would be good. Why don't we just get Ken? Yeah, why don't we just get Kenny
Uh,
Dalglish? We need players who have the creative nous that Dalglish had. Back in the 1980s, in the early 90s when I was in school, we used to go and watch them. So why don't we get those?
but Unks, can I
Simple.
interject? Unks,
Yeah,
can I
go ahead,
interject?
please.
You said, why does he keep on playing Robertson? But do you have complete faith and trust in Shimikas to be
Yes.
delivering
Yes.
at
At this
high
point,
level
yes.
week in, week out?
At this point, yes. They might as well play me at left fullback. I wouldn't do worse than Robertson at this point. I simply wouldn't do worse. I'm talking about the narrative that says that we cannot say a player is washed up because he's a legend. We can't say that
No, no,
Robertson is washed up
I
at this
disagree with
point.
that. I disagree with that.
No,
I'm always criticizing Robertson on Twitter.
no, it's
You've
not
seen my
you.
tweet.
The reason why I come to your show is because you are objective. Otherwise, I won't come. Let me give you a
Like,
case in point.
90% of the
What
time.
business did Slot have replacing Simikas against Fulham? You tell me. Just tell me what the reason was. Just give me one reason. And from what I see, it looks like some of the players who are the quote unquote leaders in the dressing room put pressure on the coach to fill them at any cost to the team. And I think that is wrong. The coach had absolutely no business replacing Simikas. He was playing an almost perfect game. What did you need? And hey presto, you bring on this guy and he comes to score an own goal. That having been said, clearly somebody like Gravenberch needs help. The same help that Bilal was talking about. If somebody is not able to play
Thank
for
you.
any man, or he's not showing up, there must be that someone else who can play that position. Why is Gravenberg throwing up stinker after stinker after stinker, and all we are doing is referring to what he did in the first half of the season? Because we don't have a replacement.
But
What
maybe
is
the
wrong?
opposition are doing something different as well, Unks.
Yep.
Well, maybe, but you see, whenever we've been exposed, go to the matches that we have lost and have been exposed. When we've been exposed, we have really been exposed because we didn't have those people that could fill in for a player who's not playing well, and or the coach refuses to fill them. What is Chiesa still doing, not getting minutes? I mean, from the part of the world that I come from, I can throw up some conjecture and say the coach didn't get his cut in the deal. Because it happens where I come from. I don't know about you guys over there,
Ooh, come
right?
on,
Yeah,
come on.
where
Now.
I come,
Maybe
where I
maybe
come,
maybe
and
it's a situation where he didn't even want Chiesa.
yes, but if you didn't want Chiesa, then it means you didn't want the job. Because when you were coming into the job, you were told that your remit was to coach the team on the pitch.
That's
Because
true.
clearly, the people who are in charge of the team now do not want, quote unquote, a club-like figure who wants to tell them who to bring into the club. It should be obvious to everybody. And
Yeah.
in the case of Chiesa, I think he has the bona fides to show up even as a centre forward. Bilal was just talking about Salah not showing up against PSG. A very simple thing happened to Salah, and it was called Nuno Mendes.
Yeah.
Whilst we are looking for a left full back, talking about Hato, talking about Kekes, I don't know why we haven't mentioned Nuno Mendes, because I think he's the best left back in football right now. Why
Yeah,
aren't we gunning for him?
Yeah,
Maybe
I'd
we
probably
won't get.
agree with that.
Uncle,
Maybe
see
we
what you
won't
just said
get
there.
him.
See what you just said there. Say that again.
Yeah.
The best left back in football. That's the
He's
reason
the
we won't
best
get.
left back in football. Maybe we
That's the
won't get
reason.
him.
That's the reason.
Maybe we
That's the reason.
won't. I agree. Maybe we won't get him. I get that. But I'm simply saying that when we say, so let me compare that with Salah turning the heat up on the young kid from West Ham, turning him into doner kebab, on the day. Because the kid was relatively inexperienced, right?
Yeah.
He didn't know what to do. He was getting turned in and out like dirty underwear. I simply think that the time has come when we should have that augmentation to Mohamed Salah, whether he wants to come off or not. On about the 60th or 65th minute, if Salah is not playing well, there must be that somebody who should pick up from where he's leaving off.
Yeah, I agree.
We can't go into next season like this. Look, the science of football these days is very simple. If you don't have the Barcelona model where you have kids coming out of La Masia and entering the team and being good enough to play in certain positions, then you have to buy. But if you're not buying, you are selling, and you are not having La Masia style, sooner or later you'll be exposed. That's what has happened to us at the times where we be exposed. Look, I told you, Asim, in our private conversations, I just want Liverpool to lift that trophy. Then I can take care of my mental health and my, the numbers on my hypertension and stuff. Because I'm tired of people telling me we won a COVID Cup. Because deep down my soul, sometimes I believe it. Okay, just being honest. Okay, I believe it. All right? So I want us to win the
Now
trophy.
they're telling you we're winning the PGMOL trophy.
Right. Now I win the whatever trophy. This time I want to win it. This time I want to be like in the parade. I want to be by the roadside. I want to make sure that we're in the red bus. I want to make sure that we are carrying the trophy. And then I can clap back at anybody who says we won a COVID Cup. Because we won one COVID Cup, one PGMO, whatever cup, and the narrative is that, oh, everybody was half asleep during the season. Okay, good. The PGMO helped us, good. Jesus helped us, good. Allah helped us, great. Everybody helped us, but we are still holding the trophy, and we thank goodness for that. For me,
Oh,
as a
that's another
Liverpool
one we get.
supporter, for me, as a Liverpool supporter, I want us to see us going from strength to strength. What I don't want to see is everybody tuning into Liverpool next season, right? And then we find ourselves eighth or ninth, and then we start complaining. And then there's the excuse, oh, Slot just re-engineered the team, so give him time. No, you build whilst you are ahead, right? You are on the front foot. You are replacing whilst you are ahead. And this season, at the turn of this season, at the turn of the new year, we should have replaced Robertson. That's it. I don't know why that is that is rocket science. That is
Who do you bought? If you dipped into the market last summer or dipped into the market even in January, let's fast forward by 6 months. Who would you bought? Who do you bought?
I thought the obvious choice to me was the left back who was playing with Slot at Feyenoord. What's his name? David Hanchko.
Hartman
I would have.
or Hanko.
Well, then there was another guy. I've forgotten the name. There was another guy.
Hartman.
Yeah, Hartman. Koscielny Hartman. Yeah, him. I'd have brought him in. But clearly, the coach was told that you can't bring in any players from Feyenoord. He was
I think
told
he's
that.
done ACL,
I don't have to be a fly on the wall during that conversation to know which coach wouldn't want to come in with at least one player. You can have the odd examples, but by and large, he at least comes in with one or two players, maybe not necessarily from his own team, but he must have identified some places where we had issues. I understand the dilemma of Darwin. Darwin is an 85 million pound player. What do you call that thing? What do you call that? The depreciation rate for a footballer like Darwin gives the owners pause. So how much are we going to sell him for? Who wants him? But if somebody in Saudi Arabia wanted him for the 70 million, why did we sell him? Why did we sell him? We knew Trent was leaving at the end of this season. When Real Madrid wanted him at the beginning of the turn of the year, why didn't we sell him? I mean, some of the things I'm trying to understand. Maybe I don't have
does
all
the
the
manager
facts.
need to take a bit of criticism as well, Unks?
I agree.
I think this manager came in, got told that you're taking over Klopp. We're going to assess it. If we see something in the market that can be done, but first settle, see the squad. But ultimately, we don't have the money this season as well. What we're going to do is, because we're going to sort some contracts out, we have to prioritize legends and world-class players. If we see someone maybe in one area like a Zuba-Mendy in the DM area, we can bring in, we'll do the business. If we can't do anything else, we won't do it. And I think he accepted that.
So I agree with you. That's what I suspect. So why does he keep telling us that the team doesn't need any augmentation? You see, once again, Asim, for those of us who come from where we come from, I see the information minister telling the populace that all is well, right? When the maternal mortality is increasing, when people are still dying in the hospitals, and they are telling us the economy is doing very well. I see that. And Liverpool, if you want to call it that, is a perfect example of a banana republic football club, where we are told the things that we know are untrue, and yet we are supposed to imbibe it. I don't get it. You wait. Just wait. The opportunistic signing tweet is going to come from James Spears in May. Mark it. Give me May 1st to May 30th. If it doesn't come, I'll be supporting Manchester United next season.
How many signings do you think we bring in then, Unks, in the summer?
Oh, I think a maximum of 2.
Really?
2?
Yeah, 2.
No chance. No chance, Unks. Come off it.
If we get 2, we're not
Listen,
getting top 4.
Bilal,
Oh, shut up.
I've been around for a very long time.
Did you hear that?
Trust me. I've been around for a very, very long time.
Because
Sarib's on
we
fire.
don't get,
Sarib's
we
on
bring
fire.
in
Sarib's on fire.
Of recent, my dear young brothers and sisters, all of you watching and listening, greetings to all of you. The gaslighting is at an all-time high.
It's a big
Like-
summer, Unks. It's going to be a big summer.
Haven't we had a big summer for 4 years? Have you
Unks, okay.
forgotten?
Unks, for
We've had
argument's
big
sake,
summers for 4 years.
say we bring in Unks, say we bring in 2. Who are the 2 that you would want?
I
No.
think
No.
I would want
Carry on.
want Andrew Robertson replaced.
Okay,
And
let's
the
say we
second
bring
one?
in Kirkes, yeah? Are you happy with Kirkes?
Absolutely. Kerkez,
Okay.
Hato.
And who's the other one?
Hato.
Who's the other one that we bring in? We
Um,
replace Darwin Nunes, I think, yeah?
Yeah,
Isak.
they will replace. No, we are not getting Isak. Newcastle is going to qualify for Champions League. No way they sell us Isak. It's not possible. But
So you,
the worst thing I want to see is us selling Darwin and going for Liam Delap. one is just a shorter version of the other. And I'd rather keep the taller version. Seriously. I don't if you ask me who we should really replace, I would say it's Jota. We should replace Jota because Jota is like that Davido song, I'm unavailable. He's a good footballer when he is fit.
But
The
Unks,
problem is, yeah, tell me,
what if
my
there's a
brother.
breakdown? What if there's a breakdown of relationship now between the manager? Nunes has realized he's not first choice. He's probably not second choice, and he just wants
Um,
away. But,
those are the intangibles that you and I don't know.
and I
Like,
also would go ahead and say it's not 100% confirmed this weekend. I don't believe Darwin Nunes was ill.
He
I'm
didn't
not
look it.
surprised either. He didn't look
I
ill to
don't
me.
believe Darwin Nunes was ill.
He didn't look ill to me. He looked like he was drinking iron brew instead of lemsip. He didn't look ill to me. So
I don't believe he was ill.
I'm not giving you any prizes for that thought. I think it was clear that he wasn't ill. It was clear that the coach decided to omit him because maybe something happened in the dressing room or on the training ground. Look, Asim, either way, I believe we are all adding them on this platform that we simply want our team to do well. We want the gaslighting to stop. We want if somebody needs to be replaced, great, great. Whether it's Darwin, whether it's Jota, but I know we're not going to do both of them. Okay, we won't do
Okay.
both of them. So one of them has to go, and I'm calling my cards for Darwin because at least Darwin is hardly injured. That's all I'm saying. For Jota, I have serious issues with Jota because Jota doesn't. For some, it's maybe bad luck. I'll give him that, but he is not available when we need him most. And I'm also going to agree with Bilal about something. During the days when we were shit hot, if Salah doesn't show up, and there were many of those days, there was always money to worry about. If Salah didn't show up, there was always Firmino to worry about. Somehow or the other, between those three guys, somebody will come through on any given day. Right now, it's only Salah, and Saib, um, Bilal is telling you something. Go look it up. The statistics are horrendous for us if Mo doesn't show up.
Get me.
It's ridiculous if he
Yeah,
doesn't
yeah,
show up.
I
It's
know.
ridiculous. So they need to find a bulwark towards that. I am also uncomfortable. I'm uncomfortable given human physiology that Mo and to an extent Verge will be able to be who they have been this season for the next two seasons. Um, Statistics and history tell me it probably won't happen. So I hope that after having clamored for their contracts to be renewed, and I was one of them, so I'm not going to run and hide when it happens. When they're playing like shit, let's not come on BNR and bitch
No,
because
of course.
it will
Yeah.
happen. It will happen. That's just human physiology. That's it. So the replacements and the reinvigoration and whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to call it, has to happen in situ. It shouldn't be an event. It should be a process. We are going to go in and and I've listened to you, Asim, assuming that all your aspirations are right. We go in and we get all these new guys, bring them in. There's always that thing called team chemistry that needs to kick in.
Yeah.
If it doesn't kick in, we can end up like Chelsea. You know those, right? They've spent 1 billion buying players who are simply not, they don't have it to gel together. So I'm just hoping for the best. But at this moment, I want that trophy with the red ribbons. I want to go from there. I want to stick it up some people's noses. And strangely enough, I'm wishing Arsenal all the best. I want Arsenal to come and sit at the table of champions so that we can have a chat with Arsenal fans. Because so far, Arsenal can't talk to Aston Villa, they can't talk to Chelsea, can't talk to Nottingham Forest, can't talk to Liverpool, can't talk to Manchester United. So all they do is have conversations by the roadside with the likes of Tottenham Hotspurs and freaking who knows what. Name them the other guys, right? So I want them. I wish them luck. I wish them a seat at the champions. The only thing is that their supporters have to beg me, and their supporters have to promise me that they won't become unbearable. Mo Barksdale and Co. You know yourselves. If you're going to become unbearable, say so that I can unsupport you. I don't want you sitting at my yeah. You know how they can be, right? Mo, Ghana Hastings, Igal, you know yourselves. If you know you're going to be uncontrollable when you win the Champions League, if you win it, tell me now so that I can support
They
you.
will
You're
be.
outnumbered. Asim,
They
you're
will be
outnumbered now.
They will be.
I'm
I
telling
know.
you, you do not want Arsenal winning the Champions League. You do not want that. I don't want that. You don't want
my
that. We don't want
you
that.
know what,
He can't even keep a straight face while saying it.
Let's bring in Sarib, bring in Abdulaziz.
my first sentiments, right, are that you are right. Okay, my first sentiments are that you are right, that they win this Champions League and they will be completely unbearable. But I wish them luck, because I simply can't allow Real Madrid to win the 16th title. It says something about everybody else. Like,
PSG.
it says something about all of us. Because if they win it, your players are going to keep going there. You are soon going to lose McAllister to add to Trent. Every Liverpool player is going to run down their contract so that they can join Real Madrid. We don't want that.
Bro, we had Gravenberch a couple of days ago as well.
Everybody's going to go.
Abdulaziz.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody.
Wa
Big up.
salam. How we doing,
Big
man?
up, Uncle. Big up, everybody.
Good
Me personally,
evening.
I
How
do
are
not
you?
want Arsenal to win. Me personally. Right now, they're running the narrative that they have a better season than us if they win the Champions League. So I don't want that conversation to happen. So let's just make that very clear. And very happy about the team so far. Not happy about the performances lately, but at this point, it doesn't really matter. We just need to get the W's and get the trophy back into Anfield. That's the goal right now. Yeah. Yeah, so Asim, are you gonna go to the parade and to the stadium on the last day?
We've been waiting for, what is it, 30 years plus for this,
Yeah.
Abdulaziz. We
Yeah.
have to go there, man. We have to
The
go.
man goes to watch every single match. He
Mm.
was even at Plymouth. How do you think he's going to miss the parade?
You're at Plymouth. Yeah.
No,
How,
I wasn't at Plymouth. No, I wasn't
how
at
is he
Plymouth.
going to miss the parade, man?
I
We
mean,
have to
the
be there,
last
man.
game when they gave us a trophy, the last game and the Palace game.
Oh yeah, we'll be there. We'll be there.
Okay.
We can't miss
Okay.
that.
We'll win
I,
the.
I, have,
Yeah.
I have a question for you guys. So
Mm.
there is a massive opportunity that this last game week, so Saturday, Sunday, was the last weekend that Liverpool are not Premier League champions. Obviously, dominoes have to fall our way. Arsenal need to lose to Ipswich in the unlikely case, but football is football.
Mm.
That game at Leicester is an away game. Now, Asim has just alluded to the point that Liverpool have not won the league in 30 years. And I know Arne Slot came out and said, I don't care when we win the league. It doesn't really bother me as long as we win it. Would you want the feeling of winning it in front of an packed Anfield crowd, so Tottenham the week after, or Leicester? Because I think I just want to know, because I would personally rather have it in front of the Anfield crowd, because even the last time we won the league title, it was won by somebody else for us, as in, you know, we beat Palace and then Chelsea beat Man City and there was no fans in the stadium. So tell me which one you'd rather. And comments already getting involved. Anfield.
You
For
guys
me,
are spoiled.
we need to get it
You're
done as soon
spoiled.
as possible, ASAP. Because like the last 5 games are very, very tricky, and it's really hard for us to collect points for those 5 games. You know, like the Chelsea away, Arsenal at home, Brighton away, Palace. For some reason, Palace at Anfield is a bogey team for us. I don't know why, but we never usually do well in that game. So before
Really?
we hit that run, I want the title to be done. Yeah. If you notice, like last season we lost
Yeah, last 2
Palace at
years we
home.
haven't beaten them at home. Last 2 years we haven't beaten them at Anfield, to be fair.
Exactly. So like, you know, like even Palace is not like 100% win. So like, you know what I'm saying? So I want to get it done before we get into those 5 games. That's just for me.
Abdulaziz, I hear you. Liverpool supporters should stop calling for Crystal Palace. The year
Mm.
that Gerrard slipped, it wasn't Gerrard slip that cost us the title. It was Crystal Palace.
Yeah.
We were
Yeah.
3-0 ahead after the first half. Don't call for Crystal Palace. It's like asking for a
Mhm.
genie. It's asking for the genie in a bottle that you don't know what that genie is like. nobody should call for Crystal Palace. I want it done as soon as possible. If we win it on the road to Leicester, I'm taking it. If we win it outside the King Palace, I'm taking it. If we win it before the match, I'm taking it. Listen, guys, you have no idea what it feels like to be like my age and having seen Liverpool not win a title in 30-something odd years. They keep telling me we won a COVID Cup. And I, I'll argue it, but then I go to my bedroom, I'm sleeping at night, I'm still getting nightmares. Right? So let's win that thing. And then nobody has any excuses to chat shit to us. Man. So
I want us to get like
deciding
90 points too. Like I don't want it
Stop
just to be like a
deciding when
simple
you
title
want to
win.
win that. Stop deciding when you want to win the title. Win it, because we are.
Win.
Truth be told, we are getting a lot of help from our friends. Right? Arsenal keep
Yeah,
messing
Arsenal,
it up. They keep messing it up. Manchester United, Manchester City are not at the races, but you also know that sooner or later they'll get it right. Sooner or later, Man City will get it right. Well, that's if they are not going to be playing the fourth
No,
division next
the
season.
bare
But
minimum is we need to reach 90 points. I've said that. We have to reach 90 points. Otherwise, I don't want this agenda to run
In a
that,
league
it's
like
the
this,
fourth
yeah, you
season.
have to. In a
It's a
league
folding
like
against. No, absolutely. And I'm with Sarib. I'd rather win it at home in front of the crowd. I've got a double reason.
But how about everybody admitting that the so-called middle belt teams have gotten better? How about that?
Yeah.
I agree. Oh, yeah, of course. Of course.
The Villa game was phenomenal today.
Bournemouth have beaten Man City home and away. They've beaten Arsenal home and away. So what are we talking about?
Yeah.
Let's just admit that because of the proliferation of money in the league, the smart owners are doing better. Nottingham Forest are going to be playing Champions League next season. How did that happen? Because they have a very smart owner who decided that he was going to keep buying until he gets it right. And he has gotten it right. You can't tell me that...
a point deduction as well. Ungs.
Yeah, they got deducted 4 points last year as well for us as well.
Yeah. You can't tell me that the defensive setup of Nottingham Forest, the Brazilian guy and the Serbian guy are not good enough to play in any team. And in fact, I think they get into any team but maybe Liverpool, Arsenal, even Man City. Even Man City central defense is not as good as those two guys.
Not gonna lie,
Especially
Milenkovic and Konate is the conversation. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Milenkovic is something else, man. He is a
Milenkovic and
massive
Konate
beast.
is the conversation right now. Like I'm not gonna lie to you, bro.
Konate will probably go. I hate to tell you guys, but he will probably go.
Yeah. I mean, if he goes, it's all right for me. I'm like, unless we have to get somebody in if he leaves.
That's
you know
all.
what I'm saying?
How would you do it if you had 50? Let's say he goes for 50 million this summer.
Yeah.
How would
we
you?
should get more? By the way, we should get more than 50
Okay,
million.
let's say I'll give you 60. I'll give you 60.
Yeah.
How would you use that 60 million? Would you just bring one in, or would you bring two in?
No, I have to bring in two. We're already bringing somebody in. We need to we need to have at least 4 center backs in our rotation for those 2 spots.
Okay, Huijsen is one.
I think
Huijsen is one, and maybe like a Gehi, probably that would be a second one.
I think Huijsen. No, I think Gehi is too short, man. Gehi is too short.
Yeah,
he's going to suffer at
he's a good
Liverpool.
center back.
As an option, is he a better option than Kwanzaa? Yes. Is he a better option than Gomez?
Then I play him as a left fullback.
No, not do that. Don't do that. No. He's not quick enough to play that position. He's not quick enough. No, he's not quick.
That was his original
because
position.
I think
that,
Slot,
right?
from looking at some of the games he have in Feyenoord, he likes quick fullbacks, like who can run up and down the pitch. You know what I'm saying? So like that's why we're mainly linked to Kirkez, because Kirkez, he's really fast in the left area, in the left flank. And why we're kind of low key linked to also what's his name, Frimpong, because they're both very quick fullbacks.
You also know that if Kirkez comes to Liverpool, he has to be a little bit more disciplined than he is, right?
Of course.
I guess. I mean, yeah.
Asim, what am I listening to?
Defending.
Konate is not going anywhere. What are people talking about? They want the best channel
these
defender
rumors
in the
that
world.
keep surfacing.
The best channel defender in the world. You want him to leave?
Bilal, are you going to pay him what he's asking for?
If he doesn't sign an extension, by all means, if they're looking to sell
that's
him,
what we're talking about.
Yeah, that's something. Yeah.
No, by all means, but I'm not looking to sell him, like wanting him to go.
No, what we're saying is, if he tells the club that I don't want to sign a contract, then the club need to make a decision, don't they? Either run it down or let him go for 50, 60 million this summer.
Yeah, and that's going to happen this summer, because if we let it run down next summer, clubs are just going to wait 4 months and then sign him on a free for next season after that. So that's why this is the summer. That's why I said we need to know before June whether Ibu's staying or going.
Bilal, the problem
I'm
is
actually.
that
Go ahead.
the problem
The
is
powers with Konate. The powers with Konate. He can just stay
Yeah, of
down.
course.
The club are not going to drop him. The club are not going to drop him.
the problem is that the guy wants to go back to PSG.
Yeah.
And PSG's performance in the Champions League doesn't do us any good. Paris is his home. That's where he grew up. He grew up in the suburbs of Paris. He wants to go and
But he
play for
does love
PSG.
Liverpool. Let's be real on that.
Oh,
Like
I
he does
agree.
like the club. Yeah.
I agree with you. I agree with you. He loves Liverpool. He appreciates Liverpool. But home is still home. You see, sometimes we simply need to be realistic. If he and his team are asking for 200K a week, we either pay him that to silence him, or we just sell him. Because
But I
if you
think
try,
we're not
because
selling
Van
him.
Dijk is
We're
staying,
not
he
selling
most
him.
likely might stay. I think that's how it is. Like Van Dijk staying is a very good news for us because then like it'll compel Konate to
if
stay.
you see, if you do the math, to get a center back like Konate, we are going to have to come up with 60, 70 anyways.
Unks, there's
So
no
if you're
centre
going to,
back like Konate. There's no centre back like Konate.
no,
Who is
I'll be
available?
honest with you, like he could be
Who?
upgraded on. To be honest with
I
you,
No,
like
you
if you
wouldn't.
can't.
look at his whole 4 year tenure,
You couldn't name me 3 centre backs that are better than Konate that are available. Name
No,
me
no,
3.
not better. Bilal, just put what I'm saying in context. I'm saying that if you're going to get out, so once again, we are saying the same thing. Konate is that good. So if you're going to get somebody like him, you've got to come up with 60, 70 on
Yeah.
top of the wages. So we need to make a calculation that if we give him 200 for 5 years, it's nothing. I will pay that because that may be the going rate. How much do center backs of his ilk get? But you know your team, right? You know your team. They are going to negotiate. Okay, we'll give you 199.999, right, instead of 200, just to say that they didn't pay you 200, right?
Go on.
That's the frustration.
mm,
Give him
He'll
what he's
sign.
asking for because you know the maths. Let's understand that the players can also add. These days, they have some very sharp agents. They have some very sharp people around him. And even worse, these days, most of the players are being represented by family. So
Yeah.
give him the
yeah.
money
He
he's
will only
asking
leave
for.
if Marquinhos leaves. If Marquinhos leaves, then Konate has a stronger chance of him leaving because he's not going there to sit on the bench.
And I think
Um,
there's a if PSG win the Champions League this season, I think there's a strong possibility that maybe that could come into question because they're the champions of Europe. He's born in Paris, raised in Paris, the suburbs, whatever you want to call it. He's spoken about his admiration for PSG, and his contract is expiring in 2 years. It would make a lot of sense, and we can get a good fee for him. Like, let's not dispute that 60, 70 million for a club like Liverpool is a lot of money. We've not recouped that for any player, I don't think, ever bar Coutinho. So it is a lot of, and Suarez, sorry. So it is a lot of money that we would be bringing in, especially since 2018, the last time we actually got money of that kind of ilk was Coutinho. So it would be a lot of money, and it would improve the squad. 70 million is a lot of money, and especially with Edwards and Hughes in the job now, we've known them to be these master strategists in the transfer market. They probably pull us the next Konate. It turns out to be better than Konate. Who knows? But I think we have to keep full faith in them because they're here for a reason.
We keep talking about our local boys. Trent is a local boy. He should want to stay at Liverpool. Curtis Jones, local boy. Was Elliot, local boy. We keep pushing that local boy narrative when it comes to our team. But you forget that other places also have localities. I mean,
Yeah,
for
but our
those of
local
you.
boy is leaving, so does that really matter?
Well,
exactly.
once again, that's what I'm saying. That when that brush is used to brush our hair, we complain. When I read something a few weeks ago, and I think I've seen it today again, that Klopp may be coaching Real Madrid. We've already started shouting traitor. How can he be a traitor? How can he be a traitor when he's left? How can he be a traitor? Come on, people. People need to live. There's life after Liverpool. For those of us supporters, we'll never go anywhere. I mean, we'll never go anywhere. Okay, good. But these guys are professionals. They need to put bread on their table, although they have a lot of
Yeah.
bread. They still need to put bread on their table. So let's stop being too overly sentimental. If Konate needs to go to PSG, my only thing is he doesn't leave on a free. That is what will piss me
Yeah.
off. That if he runs down his contract and leaves on a free, that's all.
But to be honest with you, I am confident that he will sign. To be honest with you, like I know PSG might look like an attractive offer, but like we're still cooking something here. You know what I'm saying? Like we're still a very good team. We're still competing in all the competitions. Maybe winning another league with him, he might want to win another one with us again. So you know what I'm saying? Because the Premier League is a lot more prestigious than the French league. So you know what I'm saying? So he might still want to stay and try to win the biggest honors that he can. You know what I'm saying? With us,
That's
because we
that's
still have another shot. Yeah.
that's in your words. So what Uncle was basically saying, if you
Mm.
ask a French person what you think is more prestigious to them, they'd probably say Ligue 1 rather than the Premier
Mm.
League. So
I don't know
I
about
think
that, bro.
no,
Because
but
they
look,
do dream to come to the Premier League too.
own opinion, like we're all biased fans. We're gonna sit here and say Liverpool are the best team in the world. Look at Gene, he thinks Liverpool are the greatest thing ever, you know, the biggest club in the world. But that's also an opinion. Now, look, the Premier League is obviously a bigger league than
Yeah, yeah.
French league.
Yeah.
It's not a lie. But you ask a Parisian or you ask somebody that's really, really entwined with Ligue 1 and they're very, very biased towards the league, they're gonna tell you no, Ligue 1's bigger.
Mm.
No, sorry.
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
a
if,
better
You
way.
see,
I think
you
a
see,
better way of
I'm
sorry,
putting
saying
it.
sorry.
A
Let's
biased
better
also
way
put
of putting
something.
it. One second.
Let's
Right. A
also
better way
put
of putting
something
it
in
is that it's
context.
going to mean more if they win it with them. They're not going to say it's a bigger league. They're going to say it's going to mean more if we win it with our club.
I know very
Let
delusional
let's
fans, mate.
mm,
let's put something
mhm,
in context. You see, those of us who are Premier League adherents forget one thing.
Yeah.
If you take the city of London alone,
mm,
forget about Manchester, Liverpool, and its suburbs. You can play Premier League in London alone,
Yeah.
right? And it will be as competitive as ever. In Paris, a city that's bigger than London, they have only one team of any notable repute. The other team is Paris FC, and they are they even a league team? I don't even know. So understand the context almost, and then Paris is also a town of immigrants from all walks of the former French colonies. So understand
mm,
what a kid from Paris feels about PSG.
Yeah.
Okay, a kid from Lyon feels about Lyon, and so on and so forth.
Yeah.
We, the adherents of the Premier League, we are spoiled because when you take Manchester and its environs, a lot of people don't even know that Liverpool is only 26 miles from Manchester. Look at the teams around us. Manchester City, Liverpool, Man United, even freaking Salford City FC out. They are all there. So
Bolton.
Bolton, all them teams are there. So put it in context why he may feel he wants to go back home. Only thing is, let's not be caught with our pants down again, allowing a player of the size and stature of Konate to live for free. Let's make a very quick determination. The dude doesn't want to stay. Let him go. We pay 38 million for him.
Once,
After,
maybe it's too late.
well, could
you
be.
know what I
I
mean?
agree with you. I have to agree with
Maybe
you.
it's too late.
I agree with you, bro. I agree with you. I agree with you. I agree with you totally. But there's always that option of letting him know that we'll let you sit on the bench for a year. That's
Are we
the
that type of club?
Nah,
no,
we should not do that,
no,
bro. If he doesn't
no.
sign a contract, just sell him, bro. It will be much easier this way.
Yeah, but
But
some of them.
but it'll
What if
be
he does
painless.
a
What if
Trent?
PSG? What if
What if he
PSG
does
are
a
the one?
Trent?
Yeah.
What if he does a Trent? Trent knew 4 years ago that he wanted to go to Real
No, no.
Madrid. We
The
didn't
trend
know.
situation is different, bro. You can't use that there because, like, I think, in my opinion, this is just me speaking. I think Trent really did wanted to stay with us, but as soon as Club left, that's when he was starting to plan his exit.
That's not
You know what I'm
true.
saying? That's how
Abdulaziz,
I see it, bro.
when he well, I'll tell you. I'll give you a little bit of history.
Do you think those
When
tears
he
were for Klopp or himself last summer?
when
Nah,
he
I mean, like,
when
because like
he
Club, like if Club was still here, he would have signed a new contract. If Club was
let
still
me
here,
ask you a question. Let me ask you a
you know what I'm saying?
question. Are you aware that when he and Allison renewed at the same time?
Yeah.
Yes.
Why did Allison sign 6 years? Why did he sign 4?
Yeah,
Well, I
exactly.
heard I heard most people usually like it in his age range, they'll sign like a 4-year deal so they can get more money when they renew it
Yeah,
again.
I
But
can see that.
Yeah,
he's supposed to
yeah.
be a local lad, right?
But you gotta
Liverpool
understand
forever.
something. We don't really know what his true intentions are. Only Trent
I
knows. Like
don't
we
need
can't
that.
make assumptions like that. You know what I'm saying?
I don't need that, except that I know that Real Madrid have a what do you call it, a playbook. The playbook
Yeah.
is they tell the players we are going to give you the signing on bonus if you run down your contract. That's what they did with
Okay.
Mbappe. That's what they did
Okay.
with
I got a question for you,
with
Uncle.
with,
When did
with,
you
with
think that Trent got tapped up by Real Madrid?
I
When
think they've been doing
exactly
it.
do you think?
I think they've been doing it for a while now.
Champions League final 2022.
We probably
No,
wouldn't know.
I think.
No,
Remember the news
2023.
that hit from a Fabrizio that said that they were interested in Trent? I think he just started from that time, like
You
a year
see,
ago.
I think here's the thing. I think they've been talking to him through his agent, who happens to be his brother.
Yeah.
But our problems began when Carvajal got injured. That's what I think. If we had any
I
chance
mean,
of
they were
keeping
gonna
him,
go for him either way, like whether or not Carvajal was getting
yeah.
injured, because
But
they were
if we
planning
were
on a
gonna,
long-term replacement for
They
him.
actually wanted
but
Reece
if,
James first, though. To be fair, like they were so interested in Reece James. Obviously,
but you
that year.
see,
Yeah, but like
if
they know
we
they
had,
couldn't really do anything with Reece James, but like because of Trent had a year left on his deal, they figured
Yeah,
they can
yeah,
get
yeah.
him. Yeah.
well, Reece James has become a pork pie. They didn't want to buy pork pie.
Yeah.
And he gets injured a
That's what I
lot too,
mean.
yeah.
That's what I
So,
mean. Yeah.
so
And Trent's
thing
better too,
is,
by the way.
if we had any chance of keeping
Nice
Trent,
player.
that
Mm.
went as soon as Carvajal got that multiple knee injury. You and I both know that Carvajal will never play seriously again. So even if he
Yeah.
comes back at his age, he's going to be a squad player. He's going to be a dressing
Yeah,
room
coming back from an
motivator.
ACL injury after 30
A
is really
double
tough. Like the
ACL,
recovery is harder too.
double ACL. That's at his age, he's
No,
done.
no,
Let's
that's
just face it.
Militao double ACL. He only had a one ACL.
No, he had two breaks in the same knee.
Really? Really?
Yes. Yes.
Oh, that's crazy. All right, he's not coming back then. He's not
Injury,
coming back.
same injury, two breaks in the same knee. Google it. Thing
That's
is,
a bit fun.
that injury didn't help us. It didn't help us. And let's face
To be
it,
honest with you,
Trent
you
wants
gotta
that
understand
signing
something.
on fee.
Mm.
Sorry?
You gotta understand something because we had no sporting director for almost 2 years. That's why nobody was monitoring these contracts. Like we had actually like when did Michael Edwards left?
Come on, bro. How can you say no one's monitoring these
November
contracts,
2021.
man?
No, he left
2021, and then after that, his I think his assistant took over, like Julian Ward, right?
Jimmy Ward, and he was here till he announced he was
Julian
leaving.
Ward left, and then Schmack, whatever the
Yeah.
hell his name, he came in.
Yeah. Schmeichel came in just so he can help us rebuild the midfield. He wasn't really here to
What a man.
manage the whole team.
What a man.
But he
Yeah.
actually did some work, you know.
Yeah, he had to because we need to rebuild the midfield. We only brought
He
him in for
actually
6
did some
months
work.
only.
You're
only
telling
brought
me
him
it's
in.
not
Actually did some
possible to
work.
rebuild the midfield?
This other guy,
Yeah, we were being poorly run for a while, by the way. This
this
is not
other
because the
guy,
trend wanted to leave or anything like that. Like we were
he's
poorly
just
run for a while.
enjoying the sights and sound of the slave museum in Liverpool. He's not doing shit.
Okay, I think that's the wrap, guys. It's 1:45 here. We've been going over nearly 2 hours. But before we go, Ungs has told us that we're going to buy a maximum of 2 players. So I'm just going to go around the table and you can tell me your number. I'll start with the Abdulaziz. Abdulaziz, how many are we buying this summer?
Buying like me for in my opinion, it depends on how many people are leaving because there are going to be some sales for sure.
Of course.
But in my opinion, I think bare minimum, but it could be more. 4 players are coming in for
Bare
sure.
minimum. Ungs, just
Bare
to go
minimum.
back on your what do you say? 2 signings, didn't you? Do you think that is going to be the maximum? What if we sell Harvey Elliott? Do you think we're still going to sign someone and bring
I
someone
try
in?
to protect my sanity and my well-being, right? Remember when I went on a limb for the Caicedo thing and I was punched in the jaw by what happened? I don't want that to repeat again. I'm saying 2 because
we were punched somewhere
I
else.
know
Well,
I know
I'll refrain from saying
Uncle,
it.
do you know why I think that might not happen? Because we're not going to go with the expensive signing per se. We're just going to go with a guy who can just do a job, like a Fabinho type signing.
To be honest with you, if you were to like push me to the wall, bazooka to my head, I just want Andrew Robertson gone. That's all. That's all. I just want Andrew Robertson gone. I think everything else is negotiable. I just want Andrew Robertson gone.
Robertson gone is a 10 out of 10 window immediately.
So we also need help for Gravenberch. You can't take him through another 65 match season. Sooner or later, he's gonna come apart at the seams. You need to
I
get
have a
him
different
help.
opinion. I think we need a starting
He's not
6.
He's
I think
not
we
a
need a
DM.
starting 6. Man.
So, Unks, how many players?
2.
I say 2. I say 2. I'm still sticking with 2, man. I'm not changing anything.
I think
Go on,
we're going to be
Sarib.
surprised this summer. Unks.
Well,
I'm
let's hope
hoping.
so.
I'm hoping, bro.
Asim, if we're surprised, I'll wash your feet. But
Sarib, how many do you
Oh,
reckon?
no,
Sarib,
don't
how
say
many
that.
do you reckon we're signing?
3.
Kirkes,
Yeah.
Kirkes, Ekitike, and Frimpong. That is it.
I think we're signing 6.
Whoa! Unks.
I think we're
Yeah,
signing
yeah. We
6.
don't usually do that. Yeah.
All right, give us those names, Bilal.
Kirkes, Frimpong, fullbacks, Donny Hyson.
3.
Konate is going to sign a 2-year extension, I reckon.
That's a signing.
That's not a signing.
No. I'm just putting that out there. I think
2
we're going to bring
years?
in.
Nah, he'll get like a 5
We're going
year
to
or
bring
something
in.
like that, right?
If we don't go for the cheaper option to
Six
replace
is half the
Elliot,
team, bruv.
if we don't go for the cheaper option to replace Elliot with someone like Ryan Cherky, I reckon Simmons.
That's
I reckon
4.
a starting left winger and a striker.
5 and
The
6.
striker
please,
is
guys, don't do this, Javi
He's
Simmons
playing
thing.
career mode, him,
Stop
you know.
it.
I don't
Stop
rate
this,
him. I don't
Javi
rate him.
Simmons
I don't
thing.
like him
Stop
at all.
it, please.
Look at the way they're talking. Look at the way all the journalists are talking, and it's not just the
Javi
Liverpool
fucking
journalists.
Simmons, man.
Oh
Why
my
would you want to
god,
go
bro.
for him?
Don't you
He's
like
awful.
Javi Simmons?
He's awful.
No,
He's
he's not, man.
awful.
You know
Yeah,
what?
yeah,
I
he's
believe in the
awful.
journalist. There's just the same journalist that said 2 years ago to this day, Liverpool are so close to signing Jude
Van
Bellingham.
Dijk saying it. Van
Pointing
Dijk saying
for
it. The
Liverpool to
manager's
sign Jude
saying it.
Bellingham.
Van Dijk saying
Liverpool-
it. The manager's saying it.
Liverpool are obsessed with Jude Bellingham. Liverpool are going to get Jude Bellingham. Then after the Leeds game, there's a report. Liverpool have called their interest in Jude Bellingham. That's what I'm waiting for. That's what Uncle's talking about. That James Spears tweet.
Yeah,
that's
but
gonna be
like
coming May. It's gonna
Simmons
hit
is
like
not a big
right.
player, so that could go through. Simmons is not a big
So
player.
guys, let me ask you a
70 million
question.
for a number 10 that we don't need, probably. Yeah. I'm not.
Why don't we go
I'd
and
rather
get?
go with a Bayana or a Turkey. Like one of those two
Why
is much
don't we
better.
go and get a
Or
player
Zobo's
like
light.
Mohammed,
Zobo's like better.
like Mo,
Like let's be
like
real.
Mohammed Kudus? This is not a
If Diaz
Ghanaian
stays,
thing.
I can see us going for a 6. If
Unks,
Diaz stays, I can see us going
Unks
for a
wants
6.
Why
Unks
aren't we
wants
going to
Yeah, he
pay
wants his
for a player
Ghanaian.
like Mohammed Kudus? It's not a
Muhammad
Ghanaian thing.
Kudus.
He
Kwanzaa
wants
is
a
Ghanaian. I
Ghanaian.
want him out of the team. Kwanzaa is Ghanaian.
Can I ask you a question about Muhammad Kudus, Unks?
Yeah.
Baller.
Because I'm a big fan.
I'm a fan too.
But can you understand the argument from people who say he looks good, he does a lot of things good, tight spaces, carries the ball, skillful, all that sort of stuff. But when you look at his output, it's not great.
Yeah, he's not a
He
goal
plays for
scorer.
West Ham.
He's
He
not a goal
plays for
scorer.
West Ham, Asim. What do you expect? He plays for West
Okay.
Ham.
You need to have like a quality striker right next to him so he can get the
I want to see
numbers.
what his stats are this season, actually. Hold on.
2 goals and 3 assists, or 3 goals and 2
3
assists.
months, I think. Something like that.
It's
Look,
3 or 2. I don't know which way around.
Liverpool have a history of bringing even seemingly more ordinary players and them coming to. Let's start with recent. What about
Like 3 and 2.
Robbo? What
Like
about
Mane?
what
Mane
about
didn't have big numbers when he came in.
right? What
No,
about
he had better numbers than
Ronaldo?
this. He had better numbers than
He has
this.
What
not
about
scored a
Ronaldo?
goal.
I hear it.
Kudos has not scored a goal since the 21st of December.
Yeah, because he doesn't have the
Unks,
manpower
Unks.
around him.
But Unks, you say that he's got Bowen and Paqueta around him.
Yeah.
Sorry,
You
Are
say
you-
that
are
he
you
hasn't
go-
got firepower. He's
Jared
got
Bowen
Paqueta.
is fine.
which
Jared Bowen is scoring goals.
Paqueta, the one that's about
Yeah,
to
but-
be thrown
Giga
out of
charge.
football for the rest of his life, or the one that was playing like he was playing before then. You see,
Look,
Yeah, he was in and out
I-
of the team. The
Unks,
team wasn't
Unks,
very
just for the
stable.
record, I would sign Muhammad Kudus.
Yeah, so would I.
I
He was
hear
a
you.
proper player there.
yeah, I would.
Yeah, he
But-
needs a
would-
proper coach.
can understand.
And the reason why
understand.
I will pay for him is because he's multifunctional.
But it's too much money. 85 million is too
Yeah,
much.
can play different
No,
positions.
but
Yeah,
he
that's the
can play.
problem.
He can play
Versatile.
anywhere across the front line.
Yeah, he's been
That's
played
what you're
centrally,
paying
left,
for.
right, left.
Where
has-
where would
that's-
you play Muhammad Kudus?
Me, I'll play him in the role that this guy is being played.
Szoboszlai.
Szoboszlai.
Yeah, so would I. I would do the same thing.
I'll put
do
him
it
in the
with
wing because I want to utilize his pace.
I'd
Sorry?
play him
Put him in the
I'd
wing.
play him left wing.
But
I'd
you've
play him
just
left
signed.
wing.
You've just signed Salah on a 2-year deal.
imbalance.
So forget about that.
Yeah, we
side
need
of
to
the
prepare the replacement, bro.
He's
We need to
left-footed.
prepare for replacement. Yeah, you got to
Well,
summer him up.
Kudus is not going to come to your team to wait for 2 years to replace Salah. He's not doing that.
No, but he's gonna get some
Right.
game time here and there. You know what I'm saying? Like
Put
you can
him-
rotate him with
put him
Salah. You know?
exactly where Szoboszlai is, and you see a massive difference.
Oh yeah. Anybody we put there will be
And also,
improvement.
you see, we should have signed Kudus with all due respect to another Ghanaian, Cody Gakpo. We should have signed Kudus at the time we signed
He's
Gakpo.
Togolese, bro. He's Togolese,
No,
man.
he's
Come
not
on.
Togolese. Stop it.
He's Togolese.
Listen,
He's from
that
Togo.
border, Do you know that border, right? That border is just like the Pakistani Indian border in the Himalayas. There's no border. Like
Kashmir.
there's no border. You
But
can
he's
be
from
having
Togo,
dinner.
bro.
You can be having dinner in somebody's backyard,
Uncle,
and you are in
I do want to make a
Pakistan.
point. I do want to make a point because we're on the topic. Do you think there's a case for this? Gakpo and Simmons were playing together at PSV, and their stats together
Nah.
were very, very good.
I seen them in the Dutch
I'm
national
just
team. They're
asking
not
the
that good, bro.
I'm just asking.
And then I also want to ask another question. In the full back position, seeing that Trent is leaving, why aren't we thinking of getting somebody like Kyle Walker-Peters
No.
Too old, I think. He's too old.
No.
to augment
Asim,
Have
Bradley?
who said
you
his
guys
name?
witnessed
Asim, who
the
said his name months ago?
Porto right back? What's his name? Martin Fernandez.
From
28.
Porto, yeah.
I
Yeah.
haven't
I
seen
think
him.
he looks good actually. I think we should
Are
look at
you
him.
so? Are
Actually.
you going to pay 60 to 70 for him? Like
Nah,
you
I
know,
think he'll be a
I
lot
Porto.
don't
cheaper
think
than
it'll be
that.
that much. I don't think it'll be that
No,
much.
But you know, Porto and Benfica always squeeze
he is
us
a
for money.
youngster. He's like in his 20s, right? Is he like 21 or something like that?
19, I think he is.
Another player.
But
Yeah,
you don't
that's
think
good. Yeah, we can have
you
him to
don't
rotate
think we
with
should
Bradley.
get a more mature player to
Yeah,
back up Bradley?
get Ola Anai from
What about someone like
Forest.
Yeah,
Nah.
I like that guy.
Araujo
I
Fernandez or
like
something?
that guy.
Ola
I
Anai.
like that
Martin
guy.
Fernandez. Yeah.
No, he plays for
I
Girona.
like
though.
that Aina guy. I love
This guy
him
plays
to
for Girona.
pieces.
Yeah, he's
Nah, you
solid.
know who I
That
would take in Girona? The left back. What's his name? Miguel
Gutierrez.
Gutierrez or something? Yeah,
Yeah.
he's very
yeah,
good.
Gutierrez
He's
is also a
very
good
Stay
good.
player.
away because he will end up at Real Madrid. He is from the Real Madrid academy. He is going to end up back at Real Madrid. So just stay away.
Slot name checked him as well early in the season.
They're right back
Baller.
for the total. I don't know.
Absolute
Yeah,
baller.
he's very good, bro. Like if we get
But
him
you
and a
know,
Hoyson, that's like a perfect summer right there.
And
I like
Bruger
Dean
left back.
Heisen.
But
I
generally,
like Dean Heisen.
underrated shout. I would go and sign Nico Williams from Nottingham Forest. I would bring Nico Williams back to Liverpool. He's had a fabulous.
No.
No, what's wrong with
No,
Nico
but you
Williams?
see,
It didn't work out the first
don't
time.
What's
It's
wrong
not
with
gonna work
Nico
out the
Williams?
second
don't
time.
cuckoo.
You know
Listen,
the saying.
don't
Don't go back
cuckoo
to your
what
ex.
Sarib is
You know
saying.
that.
You see, the reason why
Asim,
you
end the
have
show.
players
End the
like
show, man. What did this guy just come out with?
no,
What's
hold
wrong
on.
with You obviously
Don't
haven't
cuckoo
watched.
what
You
Sarib is
obviously
saying.
haven't watched.
The reason
He's playing
why
left
No,
back.
Sarib
he's
is
good for
saying that
Forest. He's not gonna
is
be good for
that he
us.
can
What
play.
did he
He
say?
can
What
play
did he
in
say?
between
One
the
at a time.
Nico
One at a
Williams
time.
from
Play
Forest.
left back. You can play on
One
the
at a
wing.
time.
Nico
One at a time.
Williams.
One at a time.
No.
Nico Williams can play three defense
No, that's
spots
not
for
a
the
good
team.
idea, bro. No.
Sarib,
That's
who
very
did you?
important.
Why
He can
can't you
play
look
What
at?
did
three
Sarib
different
say? What did
positions on the
Sarib say?
team, man.
Nico
He
Williams from
said,
Nottingham Forest.
Why do we
Yeah,
look
yeah,
at someone like
why
that? I
not?
don't understand. Why is that
Oh,
funny?
come on, people. We want to win the league.
He's our ex
No,
for a reason, okay? Just leave him there,
Asim,
okay? Let him be happy. Let him
Asim,
He
be
was our
happy.
ex
why
for a
not?
reason because we had.
Never go back to your ex.
Exactly, yeah.
You guys
Okay,
obviously
that's
haven't watched
another
Nico
story.
Williams.
That's
season.
another story for
That's
next
why I don't
week's
want
show.
Solanke either. You know, let him stay there. Let him stay there.
No, I don't want Solanke because he's shit. That's all.
No, he's good, but like he's not gonna be good for
Uh,
us. You know what I'm saying? He's like one
Solanke,
of
listen,
those.
Abdulaziz, Solanke is at the team that he should be. A shit
Yeah.
team like
Nico
Tottenham
Williams.
Hotspur.
Season, man. He's
That's
had a
that's the
season.
team for him. Spurs is a team that have players that are what do you call it? Hodgepodge, seasonal. Every now and then they give you a brilliant game, and then they go back into their shells like forest turtles. We don't want that kind. At Liverpool, you have to give us your best game in, game out. That's the Liverpool standard. That's why we win, and that's why some teams are still looking for their first European trophy in 180 years of being in circulation. So, yeah. Those are the things for today.
Okay.
Thank
Sarib,
you
let's
for the
wrap up.
calling, man. Thank you for the text.
People, thank you
Thank
very
you.
much for coming on, man.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sarib,
Thank you guys for the invite. I was actually
Big up.
enjoying my bottle of
Big
wine
up,
and my
guys.
chocolate before I got your text. So that's a
thanks
beautiful
for jumping
addition
on.
to my
Sorry for
evening.
ruining it, Uncle. Sorry for ruining it.
No,
Nah, it's
it's
better
a
now. We're
beautiful
talking about
addition,
Liverpool.
compliment to my evening, man. I'm just gonna go back and drink some more. That's all.
Don't get too drunk, guys. But while Uncle gets drunk, I want to say thank you very much for the
My
comment.
bedroom is upstairs, sorry. My bedroom is upstairs. All I need to do is just to stumble up the stairs and I'm home.
I hope you haven't got Nico Williams with you.
No, I actually prefer Dua Lipa. to Nico Williams at this round.
Look,
God,
while we speak about Uncle's love life, I want to say thank you very much for the love that you've shown today on the call-in show.
I
All of
would
you guys
wish.
comment.
I
I want
would
to
wish.
thank the callers, Abdulaziz, James, Bilal, Uncle, the rest of you who have joined the call. Forgot the
Big
names,
up.
Asim as well as always. It's been a great show. 1 hour 54. I wanted to end on 2, but Asim's tired and he's got a long shift tomorrow.
You can carry on if you like.
It's up to you, mate. We're not.
I don't mind. I'll go.
Guys,
You
look,
guys
there's
can.
over nearly 2,000 people in here watching our stream.
Okay, I'm out. I'm out. You carry on if you like.
But guys,
Well,
it's been a great stream.
I'll stay.
There you go. There you go.
You stay. I was in the outro. You held in the
Yeah.
outro.
It's the Uncle show now.
What do you want to do? It's up to you. I'm
Pull
out.
it off, man.
Tapo.
Okay.
Yeah, all right.
People,
All right,
thank you
man.
very much. We see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye-bye.
Okay, take care,
Big
bro.
up, man.